Hey y'all, Coaching the Fight here. Just want to put up a little short class. We just put up a class on the Sabbath day. I'm calling them classes. I don't know what they are, but putting up some stuff on the Sabbath day to get everybody aware of the Sabbath day, and we plan on doing a few more going forward. But we got a comment from a viewer on this one, so let's jump down and see what he says. Okay, down here he says, I use the Solar Fire program, New Moon, Sidereal, actual 10/8, October the 8th, 10:28 p.m. Central Standard Time exact. Okay, well, so what we want to do is go check this. He says he's used some program. I don't know what the Solar Fire program is. I don't know. But it looks like he's saying that the actual date of the new moon is on 10/8. October the 8th at 10:28. So let's go over here and look. Okay, now this is what I use. I use the U.S. Naval Observatory. It's not really a program. It's just like a place where we can find data as far as the luminaries are concerned. And so one thing I can do is come in here and I can put in October the 8th and I can see. Now it defaults to the District of Columbia, but that's all right. We don't know where he lives. So we just let it default. And what this will give us is 1 day, sun and moon data for 1 day. And it's coming from the U.S. Naval Observatory, and we can find out, what the moon and the sun is doing on that day, October the 8th, 2018. Let's see. You see that sun rises at 7:11. You see that moon rises at 6:22. The phase of the moon down there, it says new moon at 11:47 p.m. local daylight time, and it would have showed us a moon picture of it, but we have it where we don't see the images. So let's jump back over and see what he says. He says October the 8th, 10:28. I'm gonna say, yeah, he's in Central Standard Time, so yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, that it's correct. Whatever program he's using tends to line up with this one over here, and I could check. Let me go back and look at something different. Let's look at Montgomery, Alabama, as if he's in the heart of Dixieland in the Central Standard Time, and see what it says. It says that the new moon was exactly at 10:47. He says 10:28 within a few minutes. So we'll say that yeah, it lines up. So there you go. Okay, so we have them to line up. So how do we use this information to determine when the Sabbath day is? All right, so this time we need a little bit of a different piece of information. So let's go over here to Data Services. This is the one we wanted, fraction of the moon illuminated. All right, so he's on Central Standard Time, so we'll go Central Standard Time. And we're going to manipulate this a little bit, but we're looking at 2018, so we're going to compute the table. But we said we were going to manipulate it, and what the manipulations that we have to do is up here in the HTML code and change it just a little bit. Okay, so we were looking at it. I got to see how to change it. Let me go back. And so I want to change it. Oh, it was midnight then, so we're going to change it to noon now. We'll see what changes there. We can see up here this changed to 12. So that's going to be 12 o'clock noon, but that's not the time that you see when you view for the new moon. The time you view the new moon is right after the sun goes down. And we saw over there a few minutes ago, we didn't look exactly when the sun went down, but it's about 7 o'clock. So I'm going to put in 7, which would be 1900 hours. Military time. This is U.S. Naval Observatory. And we got it right. You see it changed it to 1900 hours for us. Now let's look what it says on October the 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it comes up right. That's a new moon day. But you have to change it to this 1900 hours or it's not going to show up. And this is just raw data. He has a program over there that does all of this stuff for him, and that's I ain't gonna say it's great. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's good. It's good, but because you really have to know how to do it yourself if something goes wrong. One day we're not going to have access to this internet, and you really need to be able to go out there and look up in the sky and make a determination that way. And that brings me to my next point. How are you going to determine when the Sabbath day is? Now you have to reference the book of I can't remember exactly what book, but it's found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, talking about the priestly responsibilities associated with the moon watch and when they would go out and identify the phase of the moon, or identify the new moon and blow the trumpets. Well, what we find is after years, decades and decades of studying on this, and plus reading the book of like I said, the Dead Sea Scrolls, is that on this night here, October the 8th, they would have went out to see the moon, and what would they have seen? Nothing. 0% illuminated, which meant that there was nothing to see at all. So they would not have blown the trumpets. They would have not have did anything as far as identifying what, because there was nothing to see. But then they would have came back the next night, on the 9th. And when they got back on the 9th, on that night, they would have saw a small portion of the moon illuminated. And they would have identified this day as the first day of the month. Day 1. 0 day. I mean, not 0 day, but day 1. So that come out would have been the 10th. The 10th day of October would have been day 1. Okay? So let's go see if we can find a calendar, a Gregorian calendar. Okay, here's a Gregorian calendar. Now we've seen that the Wednesday, October the 10th, would have been identified as the first day of the month. So this would have been a Sabbath day, the first day of the month, and then you would have had the 8th day of the month would have fell here, the 15th and the 22nd. So those are our next Sabbath days. Our next Sabbath days are Wednesday the 10th, Wednesday, October the 17th, 2018 will be a Sabbath day. October 24th, 2018 will be a Sabbath day. And October 31st, 2018 will be not only man's Halloween Sabbath, but it would also be a Sabbath day on the sacred calendar as well. All right, we're gonna end this short, guys. Keep the comments coming. We'll try to do it this way. Maybe we can just bite it off small chunks at a time. Maybe we'll get it all figured out. Hermes Academy.